My name is Mark Jacobsen. I'm Senior Director of Strategic Development and Thought Leadership at FindLaw, and I'm joined here today by Sean Sands. We're here today to talk about a paper that Sean was the lead author on. The paper was called "Your Traffic Report is Lying to You." And it's a very interesting and provocative paper, and it's based on a phenomenon that we have noticed at FindLaw, working with hundreds and hundreds of law firms on marketing programs, that many firms have sort of their pet metrics, their pet KPIs that they look at, and they use those as a proxy for the overall success of their marketing program. So for example, they may look at their traffic number and see that number has changed, and if it's gone up, everything's wonderful, and if it's gone down, the sky is falling, and they start to panic and often take very dramatic action. And sometimes when you make those snap judgments and you take that dramatic action, you can do the wrong thing, and you can actually mess things up more than you perceived the problem was to begin with. So we've seen this enough time that we felt like, we should look at this issue. We should talk about it in the marketplace, and people would benefit from sort of what we've seen over time. So to get into this topic, I want to sort of begin maybe with the most fundamental question, Sean.
Sure.
How did you come up with that title, "Your Traffic Report is Lying to You"?
It's ultimately about a lie of omission. So the whole idea here is that, like you say, that sort of fundamental underlying knowledge that people take for granted about what they're looking at, the data itself is not necessarily true or false. It's simply a data point, but it's the way that people contextualize it, and they make assumptions based on it. So I look at this, and to your point exactly, it's going up, things are going well, when in fact that may not actually be reflected in your business. And vice versa, your business may be going well, but if you're seeing the traffic drop, then you're making the wrong assumptions about it. So it is actively telling you information that you are not getting the correct meaning out of, and that it feels very much like a lie if your business is based on it. If your accountability and your ability to stay employed is based on these wrong assumptions, then it really is about not getting the right information that you need at the right time.
So when you think about websites, most people are very concerned with how much traffic is my website getting.
Sure.
So why wouldn't that be a good metric to equate or to indicate success?
Well, because things have really changed. I mean, the reality is this used to be a better metric and has never been an ideal metric, but in the past there has been very limited places to go get information about an attorney or go get buying information. So if I'm searching for a lawyer, then I'm going to kind of go on Google, I'm going to type something in, it's going to come up, it's going to send me to that website. The idea of website as destination. The shift in search from a fundamental level is moving away from website as destination to website as information provider. Doesn't necessarily mean that the information is consumed on the website anymore. Those websites inform everything from your profile on the bar association to your profile on a directory to review sites to social sites. There are all these other areas and avenues that consumers can, and most importantly, do go to get information about a website. And then they take that information and they make buying decisions before ever getting to your website. You can look at something like Google. You can type a search now, and it'll still come up with this list of websites, but it'll also come up with this knowledge graph a lot of the time, or a local listing that shows all this information. You can make buying decisions right on Google, or right on Siri, or right on OK Google. That information wouldn't exist if you didn't have your website, so the information's still really critical. Having a great website is an underlying foundation, but using it as a destination assumption is the real flaw there, because that's not necessarily true anymore.
So what should a firm do? I mean, in the past it was simple. You tried to have a good website that effectively told the story of your firm. Now you're saying there's all these different ways a consumer can potentially encounter the law firm on the web. What's the right sort of strategy to employ?
Well, step one is still do that. Step one is make sure that your base of information is still really good, that information can get out there. But we've moved from a place where you can be comfortable waiting for people to come to you to a place where you really have to find opportunities to go to where people are. After all, I mean, ultimately the big driver here is that the patterns of consumer buying decisions have changed. And you have to be aware of that. Now, that doesn't mean you have to do everything, but you do have to find ways to diversify. And to do that effectively, I think you play to your strengths. If you're great at interacting with people, then maybe social is a really good option for you. You know, get on Twitter, get on Facebook, get on Google+, get to wherever you feel most comfortable and provide value in that location. If you're really great, or you have somebody in your office who's exceptional at explaining a complex legal issue, write that on your website, but then maybe promote it on your local bar association, or promote it on a site where people go get legal information, or even write a op-ed for your local newspaper, because a lot of that, what you ultimately want is for your name to be associated with really strong legal service in a wide range of places, and you do that by just kind of picking the rock off the top of the pile, focusing on that, and then when that's done, move to the next thing. So, I mean, the story there really is, do what you're good at. Don't try and do everything, but don't become obsessed with your website. Become obsessed with finding where people are getting legal information and providing something of value there.